my name is Josh Zander. I'm the teaching professional at Stanford University Golf Course and host teaching professional for My Smart Golf. Today I want to talk about how to hit the golf ball straight. There are a lot of factors that go into hitting it straight. You want to hit it in the center of the face, you want to have a square club face, you want to aim correctly, you want your swing path to be correct, and that's the part of the swing I'm going to talk about today as far as how to hit it straight. I'm going to assume that you're hitting with the square club face and that you're hitting it in the center of the face. Let's talk about the swing path. Have you ever noticed that sometimes you'll come to a lesson and you'll be hitting your irons well and you won't be hitting your driver well, or you'll be hitting your driver well and you won't be hitting your irons well? There is a big difference in how to hit a golf ball solidly with an iron and solidly with a driver and hitting them both straight. Sometimes I'll be giving a lesson and say it's a 30-minute lesson and somebody comes to me and say, I want to hit my irons better and straighter, and I'll get them hitting them great, and about 28 minutes into the lesson the student will say, great, can we move to my drivers at the same swing? And I'll say, actually it's not the same swing with your driver if you're trying to hit it straight. That's a different story. And it has to do with one very crucial factor, and that is your attack angle into the golf ball. Have you ever noticed that you never really find the best iron player and the best driver of the golf ball in the same player? Our #1 player in the world, Tiger Woods, great iron player. Anything off the ground he's fantastic at. When he gets his driver in his hand, he's not that good compared to how well he hits his irons. It has to do with the attack angle. There is a piece of machinery here called the TrackMan. TrackMan helps me as a teacher track the attack angle of the golf club. It tells me how many degrees down or how many degrees up you're striking the golf ball. Let me show you what this actually means. If you think of the golf swing as a circle, there's a point at which the circle is swinging down at the ground, that would be over here, and there's a point at which the circle swings up off the ground. The circle also happens to be at an angle or on a plane. Because of that, the iron swing and the driver swing is very different in order to hit it straight. Let me show you how this works relative to a target line. So I've put this stick down here, this is going right at my target, and here would be the circle that you're swinging on. Now TrackMan has taken a lot of stats and found out that the average tour player hits their 6-iron with 4 degrees of downward strike on the golf ball. So again, that would be on this side of the hula hoop. And if I designated this as 4 degrees down and I drew a line tangent to that, can you see how the ball or the club would be swinging in to out at that point in the golf swing? Conversely, tour players try to hit up on their drivers, and at that point the path is going to the left. Let me show you how that works. Right now, if I draw a line tangent to that, it's angled left of the target line. So how do we get our club path correct with these different clubs? Well, it's really as simple as this. If I'm trying to get this part of the hula hoop to hover over the target line at impact, I need to angle my swing a little bit more to the left. Now this 4-degree downward strike is right on the target line. If I match that up with my square club face, I've hit the ball very straight. Now let's move to a driver. A driver is now swinging up on the ball. You can see this is going up and to the left. Now what I need to do is I need to angle my swing a little bit more to the right in order to have that hovering over the target line and make my path correct. Again, match that up with a square club face and you have a straight shot. So that's a pretty big difference between how to hit an iron straight and how to hit a driver straight. Again, here's our iron going straight, here's our driver going straight. So when that student at the end of that lesson asks me, is it the same swing with the driver? Well, not quite. It's actually quite different. And understanding the difference is going to help you become both a good iron player and a good driver of the golf ball. You have to make an adjustment in order to hit them both very straight.
Okay, go ahead.
So what do you need to do to become a straight hitter both with your irons and with your driver? Well, you got to be a little bit of a chameleon. You need to be able to change with the shot. Now, I was looking at some old videos of Hogan, and I noticed that when he was hitting wedges, he had an open stance. Then I looked at some of his drivers, and he was hitting it with a closed stance. Well, what was he doing? He didn't have the TrackMan. He didn't have high-tech video like we do these days. As a lot of people said, he figured it out by hitting balls. And what he did was he figured that, hey, if my wedge, and by the way, a wedge is swung 5 degrees down in the golf ball. If my wedge is swinging to the right, well, what if I just move my stance open? That would get my path going left enough to get that strike right on the target line. And then he got there with his driver, and he knew that his driver was swinging up and to the left, so he decided, okay, let me close my stance a little bit to get that path to be right on the target line at impact. Statistically, and I'm getting into some of the information that I've gleaned from TrackMan, for every degree of downward strike you're hitting with your irons, you want half a degree of leftward swing. So if you're going to go 4 degrees down with your 6-iron, swing 2 degrees to the left. Now, with a driver, it's a 1-to-1 relationship. For every degree you're swinging up on the ball, I like to swing at about 5 degrees up on the ball. I need to swing 5 degrees into out in order to make my ball go straight with my square club face. So there are different ways of doing this. You can adjust your stance like Hogan did. You can actually just adjust your swing path just by doing a little loop or coming a little bit more over it with your irons or coming a little more under the plane with your driver. You need to figure that out for yourself. So go to the range and start playing a little bit with these angles and find out how to hit an exactly straight golf ball. If you can find an instructor or a learning center that has a TrackMan to help you get specific numbers, that would really help you. You'll understand what the anatomy of a dead straight golf shot is, and you can equate that to something you can feel in your swing, and then when you're onto the golf course, you're off to the races hitting straight golf balls. So what does this mean for you? Let's say you go to the golf course and you're hitting your irons very straight. What does that mean if you took that exact same swing, which again we decided was a little bit more from the outside, a couple degrees more from the outside. Let's say we use that same swing with the driver. Well, remember, the driver is being struck as the club is swinging to the left. And if you swing more to the left with that, your result is going to be pulls and slices. Let's take the other hand. Let's say you're hitting your driver really well and you're trying to make that exact same swing with your irons. Well, remember, to hit our driver well and straight, we've got to come a little bit more from the inside. Now, remember, on a downward strike on an iron, the club is already swinging to the right. And if we add more angle to the right, we're now pushing and hooking our irons. So you must be able to make these subtle changes in order to hit your golf ball straight with both your irons and your driver. For the best shot tracking and game analysis resource on the web, please go to www.mysmartgolf.com.